Well, good evening and welcome to our news programme at 6 o'clock on a Saturday evening. And this week we're on the right day at the right time at the moment. So all is well so far. And let's hope it stays that way. Thanks for joining me this evening on what is quite a cold and grey evening now, although we've had some sunshine during the day. First of all, I'm going to do my usual bit and touch on where we are with coronavirus. The national rates have increased over the last week across all areas of the country. And as many of you will know, or in fact, I'm sure you all know, that in some areas of the country, some significant extra restrictions are now in place. Of course, within our area, we're still rated at medium risk, and therefore no additional precautions are in place at the current time. The latest national figures came out at about 4:05 this afternoon. Those show that 16,171 people in the last 24 hours have tested positive. Now, if we compare that with 7 days ago, we were looking at 12,500 as opposed to over 16,000. In the last 24 hours, 987 people have been admitted to hospital. This time last week, it was about 689 a day. And the number of people actually in hospital in the last 24 hours, or at the current time, is 5,608, whereas it was 3,736 a week ago. And the sad figures, obviously, those that have died, 150 in the last 24 hours, compared to 91 at the same time last week. So you can see that all of the figures are in a very upward trend. Unfortunately, on a local basis, White Regis itself has seen 6 positive cases of coronavirus in the last 7-day period, as opposed to 2 in the previous 7-day period. So that's a rise of 200% in White Regis itself. And we're actually now, I found out this afternoon, the 3rd highest rate in the Dorset Council area. Of course, it's just a few people, but it makes all the difference on a small local basis. So, overall, people in Dorset are being urged to act now to reduce the likelihood of a future major spike in our area and the need for more local restrictions. This week, warning has come out from Sam Crowe, who's the Director of Public Health for Dorset, following the recent increase in the cases across Dorset and in particular Wyke. Sam said, "We are classed as a medium risk area, having experienced a low number of cases over the last few months. However, we have seen a significant increase in case numbers and case rates in recent weeks. Whilst these have so far been mostly contained within household bubbles, specific workplaces, or education settings, if the current rate at which cases are rising continues, we are at risk of the virus spreading more widely amongst people, known as community transmission. To prevent this, Sam is urging that people must follow the basic rules of distancing, washing hands, wearing masks, etc." For those of you that are interested, Dorset Council is going to do a live broadcast this coming Thursday, the 22nd of October at 5 p.m, where they're going to give the latest update on coronavirus in Dorset, and they are going to be available to answer residents' questions. It's going to be Sam Crowe, the Director of Public Health, and Matt Prosser, the Chief Executive of Dorset Council, who will be live on the event. Sam will give a briefing on the latest numbers and rate of cases in Dorset and the arrangements in place to mitigate the spread of the virus. And Matt will give details on how schools, care homes and council services are responding to the situation and planning for the coming weeks. If you like to get involved in that and you'd like to submit a question, you can email them into comms, COMMS, at dorsetcouncil.gov.uk. The live briefing is going to come out over Microsoft Teams, and if anybody is interested to join in with that briefing, and Lincoln, if they get in touch with me, and I'll put my details up at the end, I'm quite happy to send the link across to you, which is much easier than actually reading it out on the programme tonight. So do contact me after the programme, and I'll be happy to share those details with you. Moving on into other local news. Changes are being brought in across the Dorset Council area in respect of car park charges, and in particular to make them more consistent. From early next year, drivers using any Dorset Council car park will be charged for parking between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday to Sunday. You'll be aware that certainly in the Weymouth and Portland area, parking has been free after 6 p.m, but that's now going to move to 8 p.m. So local residents will lose 2 hours of free parking. So as it says, this extends the chargeable period by 2 hours, as most car parks in the area are currently free after 6 o'clock until 8 a.m. in the next morning. Dorset Council are also introducing payments for Sunday parking in areas where this has previously been free, and that's areas like Bedminster, Blandford, Bridport, Dorchester, Gillingham, Shaftesbury, Sherborne and Sturminster Newton. Alongside these changes to car parks, to support local high streets, Dorset Council is exploring a potential council-wide shoppers permit. The permit has been run in West Dorset area for 20 odd years, I think, and provides shoppers with discounted parking in short stay car parks to help them shop locally. So we'll obviously be very interested to see if the shoppers permit is going to come out across the whole of the Dorset Council area, and will particularly help those who want to use town centre shops to do their shopping. There will be a formal consultation soon to evaluate that proposal. The changes come as part of an ongoing review of car parks following the creation of Dorset Council, and aims to make car park charging more consistent across the council area, but it's also to help with the financial challenge that Dorset Council faces. So they're obviously looking to recover some more revenue from car parks if they can, so that they can ensure investment back into car parks, high streets, beaches and local attractions. So that's our car park charges going up. Also, I've learnt this week that MV Freedom, which you will have heard of on this programme before, the existing boat has been sold and has actually left Weymouth in the last few days and gone to its new owner, and it's safely arrived in Newlyn Harbour, I heard earlier today. The new boat, which is on order, is due to be delivered in January/February time. And of course we'll be very willing to learn about that on this programme and to share that with you when that boat comes to Weymouth and they start to fit it out ready for its use for the disabled people and less able people of Weymouth. Of course, that's what MV Freedom does. It gets people out who are disabled and less abled onto the water and gives them a very good experience, and it's a very accessible boat. And the new boat is being built specifically to meet those needs. So we'll hear about that in the new year. Some other good news this week. Dorset County Museum is one of 1,385 cultural and creative organisations across the country that has received a share of £257 million worth of government grants. The County Museum has been awarded a total of £213,121 from the fund to help them deliver tomorrow's Museum for Dorset project. That's a project that they're running. And it's basically been necessary, as like many attractions, as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic and how it's affected many attractions. The project's been delayed to 2021 and will support the ongoing viability of the museum. Director of Dorset County Museum, Dr. John Murden, said, "This has come as a vital lifeline for the future of our museum and is another positive step forward in delivering a first-class museum experience that everyone in Dorset will be proud of." Also, it's really good to hear that bosses at Weymouth Pavilion are also delighted after receiving a Lifeline grant themselves of £573,413. And that's part of a £1.57 billion cultural recovery fund to help organisations facing the challenges after the coronavirus and ensure they have a sustainable future. The theatre, which was saved from demolition in 2013, you remember, was forced to close due to the pandemic and unfortunately has to make 25 members of staff, 70% of its workforce, redundant after suffering losses of £500,000 during the lockdown. However, director Phil Sayers said, "We're delighted to have been awarded this grant and so happy it will ensure the future of Weymouth Pavilion. The funding will be used for ongoing monthly cost, essential repairs and upkeep to the fabric of the building, continued support from community events and providing coronavirus safe entertainment." And you'll be aware that actually they've got quite a lot going on, and we will return to that at the end of the programme. And actually one of only a handful of theatres across the south of the UK that have actually been able to put coronavirus safe entertainment on. Many others have just closed up. But the team at Weymouth Pavilion have done an amazing job of operating in a safe way and providing a service for people locally. It's also really good to hear that grants were also awarded to the Great Dorset Steam Fair, the Swanage Railway and the Bovington Tank Museum, helping all of those survive through the coronavirus and to be there for the people of Dorset in the future. So it's really good to hear so many local organisations have received that sort of financial support and at a significant level that will make a difference, I'm sure, to them. Moving on, we've had several questions this week from representatives of the local community asking about what's happening in light of coronavirus on a number of seasonal events that happen through October through to December, and of course Christmas being one of them. The first occasion that people have been asking about, and I've dealt with 2 or 3 questions this week, is Remembrance Sunday, which comes up in 3 or 4 weeks' time. And Janet Hall is going to update us on this in our first report this evening, and then I'll fill you in with a bit more details after Janet's report.
A week or 2 ago, I was talking about how the British Legion chose the poppy as a symbol of remembrance. Remembrance this year is not going to be as easy as it usually is, and a lot of our traditions won't be able to happen because of COVID-19. But it is so important because at this time the British Legion honours those who serve to defend our democratic freedoms and their way of life. In 2020, the British Legion is paying tribute to the men and women of the Second World War generation and to those of today who have served and sacrificed to defend our nation. We will remember the collaboration of the Commonwealth and the Allied nations who stood shoulder to shoulder to secure our freedom, and the communities coming together today to protect us all. The world so many knew had been turned upside down by the Second World War, and the end of the war didn't mean the end of service or sacrifice for so many. 3.8 million British men and 400,000 women were demobilised and returned to their homes and families, some for the first time in many years. Many of those feelings, emotions and challenges which were faced by that Second World War generation have echoes for many of us today. Shortages of food, feeling socially isolated, dislocation from the family, and a sense of the unknown, a feeling of being forgotten. This year, we are being asked to remember World War II and reflect on now. We remember the service and sacrifice made by so many people communities and nations 75 years ago. And we also reflect on the service and sacrifice of so many today. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic and the risks that are posed by it, the annual Remembrance Sunday March past the cenotaph will not take place this year. The government-led remembrance service at the cenotaph will continue to go ahead, but as a closed ceremony. Because of this ban on large gatherings, we won't be able to have our own act of remembrance at the War Memorial, but it will be broadcast at 11 a.m. on Remembrance Sunday. Despite the challenges this year, the British Legion are encouraging people across the nation to ensure Remembrance Sunday is still marked appropriately. Some of you might like to take part in the Poppy Run. Instead of the park run events, which usually take place in October and November, people are being asked to choose to run, jog or walk, or maybe take the dog for a walk in their own town, in their own time. Why don't you get your family and friends involved and raise funds to ensure no one who has served is disadvantaged because of the sacrifice they've made? You'd be joining in a community of runners doing their part to support the Poppy Appeal in these difficult times. And don't forget our project of putting poppies of hope in our windows. Carol and I are going to show you how to make one. It is very easy to draw on a piece of A4 paper, just a circle with 4 petals around it. Next, fill in the centre with some black paint. Now, with a white wax crayon, write the letters H-O-P-E in the petals. You won't be able to see them, but next take some red watercolour and paint over the top, and the letters will appear. When you've finished, cut out your poppy. You can stick it in your window and everyone will feel hopeful for the future. There are poppy outlines in All Saints Church and St Edmund's Church, so you can take one tomorrow. This year we remember then and reflect on now. We remember the service and sacrifice made by so many people, communities and nations 75 years ago. And we reflect on the service and the sacrifice of so many people today. And we look with hope for a better tomorrow. To find out more about how you can help raise funds for the British Legion, go to their webpage on the above address.
Thank you very much, Janet, for that report on remembrance this year. And Janet mentioned that the National Act of Remembrance is not going to happen in the usual way this year at the Cenotaph. We've learnt this week that Weymouth and Portland Borough Council will not be doing their normal act of remembrance on the seafront, but a private event will happen at the Noath Fort for a handful of invited guests, and this will be live streamed. And similarly in White Regis, as Janet said in that report, we will not be having an act of remembrance at the White Regis War Memorial this year. And that's simply because of the government restrictions on gatherings. We get between 150 and 200 people at the War Memorial, and of course that's way above the maximums that the government allow. And within All Saints Church itself, we can only get 45 people at a time. So we've had to say that day that we will have a normal church service. But what we are doing is we are going to have a streamed service that we are putting together with members of the community that will go out from 10 to 11 on Remembrance Sunday. There will be the minute silence at 11 o'clock and prayers and hymns, bugle player, etc. Now, if you represent a community group and you're normally involved with the act of remembrance at the White War Memorial or in church at All Saints Church, if you'd like to make contact with me this week, if you would like to be involved in the recorded service that we're putting together, I'd be delighted to hear from you, as we want to involve as many people as possible. But obviously, because of numbers, we're having to record it in different sections and then paste it together for broadcast. But please do contact me. Of course, once we get Remembrance Sunday out of the way, we will be thinking in similar vein about Christmas, because there are many large events around Christmas carol services, etc., which won't be able to happen in the normal way this year. So we are looking to do things that are normally done for the community, but they will just be done in a different way this year. And, let's hope by next year we can return back to normal. But we will still be doing something and people will be able to join in with it. Now, did you know that this week is Candle Fire Safety Week? Yes, Candle Fire Safety Week. Unfortunately, many fires start each year as a result of the candle. Sadly, several people die and many more are injured. We're therefore going to share the information issued by Dorset and Wiltshire Fire and Rescue for this year's Candle Fire Safety Campaign. As we approach Halloween and then Christmas shortly afterwards, I thought we'd look at the safe use of candles. Did you know over 40% of all fires started by candles attended by fire and rescue services result in a death or serious injury? This week is Candle Fire Safety Week, and our local fire brigade, Dorset and Wiltshire Fire and Rescue Service, are asking everyone to take extra care at this time, and of course at all times, and to make sure they snuff out the risk of fire in their homes. With winter looming, a few candles scattered around the room can give some ambience, lend a warm glow to an evening, and make us all feel more comfortable. But with candle fires resulting in around 350 casualties each year, our fire service is asking us to take extra care with candles this autumn and winter. To prevent candle fires from starting in your home, you should make sure your candles are kept away from flammable materials like curtains, and ensure any candles are put out when you leave the room, even for a moment. Vicky Thomas, who is Safe and Well Manager from Dorset and Wiltshire Fire and Rescue Service, said, "Candles are typical sight in many homes, scenting our rooms and giving an atmospheric glow to cold winter nights. But it's important to remember that a candle is not just a decorative feature. Left unattended, an open flame scenting your home could leave a trail of devastation. Make sure you place your lit candles with extra care, away from curtains, pets and children, and always remember to put them out when you leave the room, even for a moment. The most important step you can take to keep yourself and your loved ones safe are to ensure your home has a working smoke alarm on every level of your home, that you test them regularly, and you know and practice your escape routes from your house. To help you enjoy your candle safety, Dorset and Wiltshire Fire and Rescue Service have some top tips for candle safety this Candle Fire Safety Week. Number 1. Never leave lit candles unattended. Put burning candles out when you leave the room and make sure they're out completely at night. Tip number 2. Place your candles carefully. Make sure they are on a stable surface, out of the reach of pets and children, and keep them away from flammable objects like curtains, furniture, bedding and books. Number 3. Don't move candles once they're lit. Number 4. Do not burn several candles close together, as this might cause the flame to flare. Number 5. Burn candles in a well-ventilated room, out of drafts, vents or air currents. This will help prevent rapid or uneven burning, soot and dripping. Number 6. Always put scented candles in a heat-resistant holder. These candles are designed to liquefy when heated to maximize fragrance. Number 7. Fit smoke alarms on every level of your home and test them regularly. A working smoke alarm can buy you valuable time. Number 8. Make sure that everyone in your home knows what to do if a fire should occur, including practicing your escape routes. Even with all of these precautions, it's vital to be prepared should the worst happen. Working smoke alarms can give you the vital time you need in case of an emergency. Remember to get out, stay out, and call 999. For more information on maintaining fire safety in your home, please visit the Dorset and Wiltshire Fire and Rescue Service website at www.dwfire.org.uk/safety. Or to see if you're eligible for a free Safe and Well visit, please call 0800 038 2323. There we go, Candle Fire Safety Week. Did you know that we had one of those? Well, until this week, I didn't. It's the first time I'd heard of it. We come to that part of the programme where we mark anybody who's got a birthday. And we do have a birthday this week, and I'm also going to pop my contact details back up there in case anybody's got a birthday coming up in future weeks. So let's see if the dodgy jingle plays this week. I still haven't found a better jingle. I did search this week for a better jingle, but I didn't find one. So let's try the dodgy birthday jingle. Oh, and it worked properly this week. That was amazing, wasn't it? Anyway, this week we wish John Masters a very happy birthday for the 23rd, which I believe is Friday. So, John, I hope you're listening, and I hope you have a very happy birthday on Friday this week. Of course, if you're celebrating a birthday, a wedding anniversary, or anything else special, do email me or give me a phone call during the week, and I'll be happy to wish you a happy birthday or a happy anniversary this time next week. Our next story this evening is to do with roads. In recent weeks, we have looked at road safety. We've looked at the effects on our roads of developments such as the Portland waste incinerator, and we looked at issues on local plans and heavy goods vehicles and cycle accidents and those sorts of things. We've had a few stories over recent weeks. Now, there's been one such issue to do with roads that has been in the going on in the background for decades. And this is a project which I'm going to report on for you now and bring you bang up to date. I'm sure most of you will know for many, many years now there have been proposals to build a new route to the Portland Beach Road and link up with the new road at Chickerell. This has been known as the Western Relief Road. In previous weeks we have mentioned roads in other stories, such as the plans for the Portland waste incinerator and the number of road traffic accidents and the number of incidents involving cyclists. Thinking particularly of the Western Relief Road, there are mixed views, and it has always been controversial, with some saying that the existing road corridor to Portland through Lanehouse Rocks Road and the Portland Road is narrow, congested, and already has too much traffic. Others, like myself, who do not want to see our fields and nature and coastline affected and our open space between Wyke and the Fleet divided by a massive road and cutting. Viewers, I'm sure, will be familiar with the Fleet, the fields and the small inlets and beaches, and the views towards Portland in the south and towards Chickerell and onwards to Bridport in the north. Maybe like me, when you were younger you spent many happy hours investigating the shoreline or enjoying the peacefulness of the beach at the end of Pirates Lane. A far cry and very much different to going to Weymouth Beach and all of the visitors that are there in the summer. However, we've recently heard that Dorset Council's briefholder for highways, Councillor Ray Bryan, has said that the proposals for the Western Relief Road along the Fleet from Wyke Regis are unachievable unless the government has a change of heart, and that the local priority will now have to switch to reducing traffic and encouraging other forms of transport. He says that the government has made it clear that any new road building must be as a last resort. Councillor Bryan went on to say, until the A354 between Weymouth and Portland is recognised by government as being crucial to driving economic growth in Dorset and adds to the major road network, there will be no government funding available for a new road to bypass it. Dorset Council has made the case, but has not been accepted, he told an online Dorset Council meeting this week. Some councillors claim that the route has the backing of business and many residents plagued by living close to congested roads. But I suspect the views on this road are truly split down the middle, with an equal and possible greater number not wanting the loss of this fantastic open space and all the nature that goes with it. There is no doubt that the demands on our roads are growing, and with Portland Port getting busier and the potential for a new large visitor attraction on Portland, the roads will only get more congested as time goes on. The one thing I am sure we will all agree on is the need to reduce traffic on our roads, particularly those near our schools in Rodwell, Buxton Road, Portland Road, to both make our roads safer for the thousands of school children that use them and also to reduce pollution in the air that we and these children are breathing in. Also to cut out any rat runs that some drivers use at speed and without attention to zip through and avoid the traffic on the main roads. As a local resident, I agree with the government's stance, and I would like my local authority to exhaust all other avenues before building any new roads. As even if we build new roads, these will become inadequate in time as traffic volumes continue to grow. And more roads will be needed and traffic will grow and become a vicious circle. It makes sense, therefore, to reduce road traffic, to make our roads safer and to reduce pollution. So maybe more investment in cycleways and public transport is the first and easiest step, and then some forward vision and investment on other forms of transport. Maybe the reinstatement of the railway or tramway to Portland, or a monorail above and along the old rail route on the eastern side of White Regis to Portland. Maybe these would provide a better and more sustainable option for the future, as well as becoming a great visitor attraction. If you have any ideas on reducing road traffic without the need for building new roads, I would love to hear from you. Who knows, maybe your idea will be the way forward for our local area. There we go. So that's just an update on the Western Relief Road, and my thoughts that actually, if we build more roads, they'll just get filled up with more cars, and we'll then need more roads. I think we've really got to tackle the number of vehicles on our roads and find easier ways to move around and more environmentally friendly ways to move around. So there we go. Be interested in your views on that and any thoughts on any solutions. Moving on to something completely different now, going to touch on our local food bank. Viewers will know that we're operating a food bank from St Edmund's Church in Lanehouse Rocks Road, and that this has been operating since the start of the coronavirus lockdown. Well, the food bank is still going strong, and it's helping around 50 families each and every week. The food bank, however, is currently in need of a couple of volunteers, and I thought I would share that with you in case anybody's interested in helping out. A regular food bank volunteer is required from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock on a Thursday. Brother Alistair, who runs the food bank, says you must be reasonably fit and able to lift heavy boxes of tins and other items. Also, they need a volunteer with a vehicle to go and collect bread for one day on the 29th of October to cover for somebody who won't be available that day. If you are interested, please do contact Brother Alistair on 01305 784649. If you'd like to support the food bank, it's currently in need of the following donations: cleaning products, soap powder, washing up liquid, tea, coffee and sugar. Also very pleased to receive financial donations if you wish to help with those. And those can be made via the Parish of White Regis website at www.parishofwhiteregis.org.uk/donations. Now, our next story is about students from Stagecoach Performing Arts in Salisbury. I know it's a little bit out of our area, but I found this and I thought It was very interesting, and it was very positive. They have developed and performed in a film to support Salisbury District Hospital. It's called Stay Safe with 3 Simple Rules. It was filmed in the picturesque setting of Salisbury Cathedral Close. The film is being used to demonstrate to hospital staff and the public how to stay safe with hand washing, wearing face masks or coverings, and maintaining a safe distance. Christy Grant, Stagecoach principal, said our students had a fantastic time performing in the film, and we are over the moon to have been given this unique opportunity to support our community and our local hospital, and enabling our students to do what they love doing in a safe and controlled environment. We're very happy to help Salisbury District Hospital promote the message that everyone needs to be mindful of and to take care to do everything we can to stop the spread of coronavirus. I thought we often see these messages from the NHS themselves or from government, and sometimes they're a little bit sort of staid and a bit dry, aren't they? But these youngsters have put this video together themselves, and I liked it, and I thought I would share it with you today. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. I certainly did, and I think the kids must have had great fun making that, and I think they can be proud of their results in putting that video together. Did you know that the popular children's book, The Gruffalo, was 20 years old at the start of this year? The Gruffalo is a children's book by writer and playwright Julia Donaldson, and it's illustrated by Axel Scheffler. It tells the story of a mouse, the protagonist of the book, taking a walk in the woods. The book has sold over 13 million copies. Wow, 13 million. And has won several prizes for children's literature and has been developed into plays on both the West End and Broadway, and even an Oscar-nominated animated film. It was originally published in 1999. By Macmillan Children's Books, and it was written for readers aged 3 to 7, and it's around 700 words long. It's written in rhyming couplets featuring repetitive verses with minor variances. Let's remind ourselves about the Gruffalo in an extract read dramatically by retired local head teacher Stuart MacLeod.
A mouse took a stroll through the deep dark wood. A fox saw the mouse, and the mouse looked good. Walk further into the deep dark wood and discover what happens when the quick-thinking mouse comes face to face with an owl, a snake, and a hungry Gruffalo. Boo. A mouse took a stroll through the deep dark wood. A fox saw the mouse, and the mouse looked good. Where are you going to, little brown mouse? Come and have lunch in my underground house. Oh, it's terribly kind of you, fox, but no, I'm going to have lunch with a Gruffalo. A Gruffalo? What's a Gruffalo? A Gruffalo? Why, didn't you know? He has terrible tusks and terrible claws and terrible teeth in his terrible jaws. Where are you meeting him? Here, by these rocks. And his favourite food is roasted fox. Roasted fox? I'm off, Fox said. Goodbye, little mouse, and away he sped. Silly old fox, doesn't he know there's no such thing as a Gruffalo? On went the mouse through the deep dark wood. An owl saw the mouse, and the mouse looked good. Ooh, where are you going to, little brown mouse? Come and have tea in my treetop house. Oh, it's frightfully nice of you, owl, but no. I'm going to have tea with a Gruffalo.
There we go. That was an extract of the Gruffalo read by Stuart MacLeod in dramatic form, dressing up as well. Now, Stuart's actually been reading a lot of books since the lockdown. I think he started doing it for his grandchildren and recording it on YouTube, but I think it took off a bit. So he's read lots and lots of books and dressed up and done them to entertain people during the lockdown. Well, you may wonder, why am I playing an extract of the Gruffalo and Stuart reading it? Well, one, I thought it was worth celebrating the fact that Gruffalo's been around for 20 years, and I'm sure many of us know about the book The Gruffalo. But on a serious note, our local schools are actually looking for volunteers to read similar books and to video them so they can be used by our students in the local schools, either at the current time or in the event of a lockdown. So if you enjoy reading, you like a bit of fun, and you'd like to read some children's books and video yourself, or to get somebody else to video you, and you can speak to me and I can help with that, then do let me know, because the local school would be very, very pleased to hear from you, and it's a good way that you can help at this current time. So, moving on then, we are looking at the week ahead now, and looking at our weather for the week ahead. And the weather for the week ahead, you can see up on the screen now. It looks as if it's going to be warmer this week and a lot more milder. The daytime temperatures are likely to be up to about 15 or 16 degrees. However, it looks like the wind is also going to pick up, and there's an 80% chance of rain each day from Tuesday through to Friday. So milder, a bit more unsettled, and it looks like it's going to be wet, unfortunately. So that's our weather for the week ahead. Whoops, let's turn that off. Where's it gone? There we go. Looking at the traffic and travel, works continue on Commercial Road through till the middle of November, where they're still taking the tramway tracks out, and there will be hold-ups there and lights as and when required. The works are still underway on the road at Castle Cove as well. There'll be restrictions on parking there. I couldn't see any other local roadworks notified at the current time. On the trains, there is a bus replacement service during the night time this coming week between Basingstoke and Eastleigh and Southampton Central, and that starts at 10:45 each evening and goes through to 5 the next morning. So if you're travelling late back from London or heading up that way late, then you might be on the bus replacement service. Moving on to what's on. Many of these items we have covered before, but if you've missed them, I'm just going to flick over them quickly again. Between the 24th and the 31st of October at the Knowth Fort, there are various family Halloween activities. On the 1st of November at Weymouth Pavilion, the complete works of William Shakespeare in an abridged format by Adam Long, Daniel Singer and Jess Winfield, all 37 plays in 97 minutes. On Sunday the 1st of November at the Knowth Fort, there's the Dorset Food and Drink pop-up Christmas market. That's between 11 and 4. The 2nd of November at Weymouth Pavilion, you can join Strictly Come Dancing champion siblings Kevin and Joanne Clifton. It's possible that all the tickets may have gone for that. I don't actually know. It doesn't say on the website whether there are tickets available or they're all gone. That's produced especially in a socially distanced audience to make it nice and safe for you, and should be a good evening. On the 6th of November at Weymouth Pavilion, Genesis Connected, a tribute show celebrating the hits of Genesis, and Peter Gabriel, Phil Collins and Mike and the Mechanics. And the last thing also is the Pavilion. They are having a virtual Christmas show. It's called That'll Be the Day Christmas Show. It's on Sunday the 6th of December at 7 p.m. and you can watch it online. That'll be the day. I think it's a Christmas show that goes round various theatres each year, and it's been doing it for a number of years. But this year they're not touring. It's about 30 years they've been doing it, actually. I see my notes now. And they are going to be doing it virtually. So they are shows that are going to go out pre-recorded that you can pay to watch. But then the stars of the shows are going to be available live online during before and after the show to take your questions and to talk to those who are watching. So for more details of that, please go along to the Pavilion website, and for the events at the Knowth, obviously go along to the Knowth website. What I would say is I had a good look at the Pavilion website today just to get an update, and goodness gracious, what a lot they have planned for 2021. Not only have they got their programme that they were no doubt planning for 2021, but they've also got rescheduled dates for most of the stuff in 2020 that had to be cancelled or postponed, and that's going to be in 2021 as well. All I can say is, looking at their website, what a fantastic range of shows of all different types they have for 2021. I really do hope that this virus disappears at the start of the year so that people can enjoy the fantastic programme that they've put on. And the other thing I'd like to say is that, we are so lucky to have Weymouth Pavilion and the team there, which is a community interest company. And I actually think that what they do now is far better than when the Pavilion was run professionally. There's a much better range of stuff. It's a really, really busy programme. And look at all the things they've been coping with during coronavirus and the lockdown. So well done to the Pavilion, and please continue to support them. A fantastic service for our town. Other things that are happening, we've got tomorrow morning, we have got our communion service at All Saints Church at 9:30. That'll also be live streamed. There's a Sunday service at St Edmund's Church at 11 a.m. Also a service on Tuesday evening at 5 p.m. and another communion service on Wednesday morning at 10:30. And of course, tonight at 7:30, we will have our Saturday evening quiz on all these same channels. And hopefully this week, I'll be doing it from the broom cupboard at home. Last week, we had a major IT failure at home here, and we couldn't broadcast anything from home, so the news programme didn't go out to Sunday, and I had to zip up to the church and sit in the cold to do the quiz. But looks like tonight we will be fine, so do come along at 7:30 and join us for the quiz tonight. It is open to everyone. And don't forget, if you've got any local stories, you're celebrating a birthday, or you want to be involved in the act of remembrance that we're doing online, then please do get in touch with me. The details are on the screen, either by email or telephone, and I'll be really pleased to hear from you. Other than that, it's time for me to say goodnight and to go and get ready for the quiz, and to look forward to seeing you again at 6 p.m. next Saturday, when we'll bring you a mix of local and national stories and things that are relevant to all of us here in Wyke and beyond. So good night.